Welcome everyone to this world record gold run. I hope you'll enjoy it, and here we go. I will talk over the footage because I played this previously on just alone without talking to concentrate, and I found something very amazing. This is the official leaderboard for the high scores in the game. It's from the official Vampire Survivors Discord that is also linked on the Steam page. And they keep track on the records that people achieve. And as you can see, the highest record right now is 16,000 gold, which we beat by around 2,000 gold. That is absolutely insane. That is not just a small increase, 16,300, just did the same thing, got a bit luckier. It's actually a huge increase. And I'm really proud of that because, as I just mentioned, our previous gold record run was 13,600. I'll link that in the description so you can just compare a bit what I did there and what changed. And I also think I have another run with 12,000 or so, which was my previous personal record, but at that time I didn't know yet what the official world record is. I just knew that on Steam I saw people posting the highest amount of 13,500, 600 something along the lines of that. So yeah, well, I hope you'll enjoy the video. I won't cut anything. I decided to keep it in full. If you want to skip, you can skip, and if you want to watch, then you can watch. I won't take that choice away from you because, you see what I'm doing, and if you want, maybe you learn something from that, or maybe you see something that you didn't use, and you might take that part and use the rest for your own strategy, or you take entirely what I did and just hope to get a bit more lucky, which honestly won't be that hard, and I'll explain why. But yeah, this is run. So just to talk a bit about what I'm doing here, I'm playing on a new account, which intentionally didn't unlock all of the weapons and items in the game to limit myself to a certain amount that I want. It didn't go optimally. I could have still reduced it by I think 1 or 2 more items, but hey, it is what it is. And I talked about this previously, whether this is unfair or not, and I don't think it's unfair because anyone can do that. And we played for it. We didn't even use the debug mode, which you could argue would be fine, where you can just cheat and stuff apparently, or just set stage. I have never done it, I don't know how it works, I just saw it on the Discord. But we did it, and we also streamed it, right? We have it on the channel. Not the entire part, but a lot of the farming that I did, because the rest I was too annoyed and just did it off screen while I was working and just played, But yeah, let's talk about the run a bit more. So usually I would reset a ton of times at the very beginning, and I would try to aim for a pretty perfect scenario. So perfect scenario means I start with a cross or a clover. If that doesn't happen, I instantly reset. I'm not trying, because the other weapons that I have, which is an axe, that is, I think, the only weapon that I have. Yeah, the axe is the only other weapon that I have. Is absolutely horrible to clear early enemies, and I'm not wasting my time with that. Because if you have to do a lot of resets, then you don't want to have the slowest weapon, to get to that threshold and then just realize, yep, that's a reset, I just wasted 2 minutes for nothing. The main way how I reset is I attempt to get a clover and or a crown at level 6. So optimally, I would get it with the very first level where you can get it, which seems to be level 4. It doesn't seem to be possible to get an item at level 3. I might be wrong with that, but I haven't seen one so far. But it's also not like I watch every single run if one appears. But yes, the optimal goal would be level 4 crown, level 5 crown, level 6 crown, level 7 crown, level 8 crown, and then 5 clovers in a row. This obviously doesn't happen, so you just have to hope for the best. And this run was not bad. As you can see, we have 5 clovers already and 1 crown. The crown is lacking, but the clover is amazing. You want to have as much luck as possible as early as you can, because every single candle that you break has a chance to drop very good gold items, and the more luck you have, the better items appear out of them, and the higher your luck is, the faster the candles respawn. Which I also want to mention something. It feels like to me, and this might be absolutely wrong, but it feels like to me the effect, for example, 200% luck has and 250% luck has is insanely different. It's not just a 1/4 increase. It feels like it's way, way more, almost doubling the speed of candle respawns. Just this 50% amount. Just to be on the same understanding, X-Dash starts with 100% luck. And you can buy 30% luck via gold upgrades, and you have 10% luck because we're on hyper mode. It's just a bonus of this level. So we end up with a total luck of 140%. If you get clovers to level 5, you'll end up on 190%, and then all the other luck that you get throughout a run depends on clover drops from the candles. So you would end on 190%, as I said, but this run, I think, ends on 270%, which means I got 8 clover drops. And I had a wrong assumption. For some reason, I thought you can only get 5 clover drops, but I also didn't math it out and just assumed 5 clover drops means 250% luck, which it isn't. It would be 240%. And yeah, this run I realized it seems to be unlimited how much you can get, but it also almost feels as if the drops become less likely the more clovers you have. But this might also just be wrong, you know. It's just a feeling so far. Regardless, that means you want to open the chest, and this is a big mistake I made when I said if you literally do the same stuff but improve on it, you will beat my record, which is I should have waited with the chests to open them until the very end of the run, like let's say 27 minutes, 28 minutes, a point where I can still somewhat deal with the enemies and get to the chests, but wait as long as possible to get as much luck as possible, because it affects the chest that drops. So whether it's a penta chest, whether it's a gold, a triple chest or a normal chest, the more luck you have, the better the chest will be. So obviously you want to collect as much random luck drops as possible to get the best possible outcome. Now obviously it doesn't always mean that you will get something better just because you have higher luck, but on average, based on statistics, you should. One thing you see me doing here is I break all the candles. I just walk left and right that they respawn faster. It feels like if you move outside of their screen area that they respawn faster. And that's why I'm just moving to the right where you have a bunch of candles, and then to the far left where I have a bunch of candles for them to respawn. And on the way there I break them. Now as you notice, if the candles are below me, I can break them without picking up the stuff that comes out of them. But if they are on top of me, I can't do it. Even on my left, I think it doesn't properly work with the lower range on the garlic. And that's not optimal, because you want to pick up the gold items once you have the stone mask level 5 to get the max amount out of them, and that's the reason why I leave them on the ground, to later pick them up. But you can't change it, right? Like, what are you supposed to do? There would be one way of getting around that, which is hoping that a cross hits them. But the time you waste on waiting for the cross to hit, it's just so much time wasted, because you could be breaking other candles already, right? So it's just not worth it. Like, I'd rather take a slightly reduced gold, but at a higher chance for more luck, than, yeah, well, that's it. That's what I wanted to say. Okay, let me think about anything else in this run that is special or worth mentioning. I don't know if I said it. I had a record run prior to this one with 18,900 gold. I do have the screenshot of that, which honestly I totally forgot to put in, but it should appear for you now. Like, I just don't see it, but you see it. But this was played on the public beta of the game. When I got the 18,900 was my very first run, and I was like, what the hell is going on? My previous record was 13,600, and now my new record is 18,900, which is also nearly 3,000 beyond what the previous record was, right? So I'm like, something about this beta seems to be off, that I get such an insane value. And at first I thought there wouldn't be a big difference, right? Because, or an issue, because people play on different versions in speed running, high scores and stuff like this. Rarely do you see people playing on the same version by choice, but it's rather because it's just the best version out of them, so everyone plays on them. But for example, in Minecraft, they separate certain versions because some of them are way better than others, but technically speaking, you could play on any version in between these versions. So, yeah. But, like, in hindsight, I decided, you know, if the beta receives some changes, or if it received a gold buff or luck buff or whatever it is, and, you know, it would be invalid, and it would be sad if I continue on the public beta, so I decided to just go for the official server, the official version that is out right now, and this is this version. So yeah, let's talk about some things that I do here and some decisions. I leave most of the items on the ground, but I tend to collect the experience orb collector early on, because we only need 1 or 2 for later, and that's it. The reason why I use them is because the faster you level up, the faster you get your economy upgrades, right? I don't care about the weapons, honestly. We should be fine as long as I don't get totally screwed and don't get the garlic or the cross. The cross is honestly more important at stages like this here. The garlic doesn't do it alone. But yeah, the main point is you get your economy upgrades earlier, and if it could mean the difference between having a level 5 clover and a level 3 gold clover when you break something. So yeah, I decide to collect them. Also, you'll see me pick up the instant kill everyone if I'm getting completely overwhelmed with enemies, but also there must be a ton of enemies on the screen that I would ever do that. But the other thing that I'll do is I'll eat the NFT. Like, I'll consume the NFT to burst out fire and kill harder enemies on the screen. I won't do this with easy enemies because garlic takes care of them, right? But if it's harder enemies that I can't deal with, which we'll see soon, then I will use these just to get rid of all of them. It's instant experience, and if you didn't know that, if you walk too far to the left or the right, and enemies that were there previously, they will just despawn. They are gone. Which means you effectively lost experience you could have gotten. Now, you can compensate for that if you, for example, just walk to the right and you have a higher spawn rate of enemies, so you lose the ones on the left but you have more on the right, then that makes sense. That's a viable strategy to get a higher level. But in this case here, I don't want that, right? Because we have to stick around this area for the candles to respawn more effectively. They don't respawn faster, but the longer you're in an area, the more or the higher the chance is that the candles respawn. Because, you know, if a chance happens 10 times or 1 times, that's quite a big difference. It doesn't increase the chance itself, like the value given, but 10 attempts has more chance to succeed than a single attempt. So right now I'm on 220% luck. We will go to 230% here with this clover, which is not the best I've ever had, believe it or not. I actually had +5 already at 10 minutes at one point. So I was a bit bummed because I thought the maximum amount you can have is 250%. So I want to get to 250% ASAP to open all the chests and get my upgrades and get better weapons and guarantee that this run will get to the end. Because once you open the chest, you're strong enough to do that. Yeah, as I said, mistake. Regardless, we just continue. I'm focusing right now mainly to get the cross to level 7. That is usually my goal. Whenever I pause here, you can also just check out the stats, but I'm just looking sometimes what is my luck level. I think I checked here what's my gold, possibly. Yeah, and it's 5, so I can now collect all the gold on the map. And you'll see the number on the top right jump up quite a bit. Given that we are at 11 minutes, right now it's at 500, and now I collect all the stuff here. But I also don't want to move too much that enemies don't despawn. But especially here at the bottom, we just jumped to 800, now we jump to 1200, and now we jump to 1500 or 1600. And that within a couple of seconds, you know, because the stuff is still on the ground. And you will see wherever there are many candles in the game that appear in one spot, like below us right now, I will let the items rest there, and they will accumulate a heck ton amount of gold, which is good and bad. The good part is, you'll get a huge burst in gold later on. The reason why I do it is because there are certain items I want to save for later, to deal with the later stages. But it also means you have no good feeling of how much gold is there, right? You don't know prior to ending the game, or prior to collecting it, which happens at the end, whether this run is really good, or bad, or medium, or whatever, right? But yeah, we just exceeded 2000 gold at 12 minutes. That is absolutely insane. That is the highest value I've had in a very long time. And it's pretty much just a focus on luck, and obviously also getting lucky. But the main thing, the main difference is, and you might have noticed this already, I only have 6 items. I talked about this previously, where I explained why I don't want to go for 7 items. The reason is that you have to walk so long and waste respawn time of candles. You get so many less candles if you do that. And I tried out an attempt where I looked at records where other people ran how the longest time they can survive, right? Let me take a sip of my drink and then I'll continue talking because my throat is killing me. So prior to my last run, the 18,900, I was looking at records where people managed to survive the longest possible in the game, which is like 39 minutes. If you don't know this, at 30 minutes a death spawns in the game, who almost instantly kills you. The only way to avoid this is by having the Laurel, that is an item that gives you a shield, and it soaks up a certain amount of hits. And then it gives you invulnerability for a couple of seconds. And then there's a second item, it's called Frozen Lancet, I think. And if it strikes an enemy, then he gets frozen. Yeah, this is how you can survive when the boss spawns. The final boss, you can't kill him, it's impossible. He's supposed to end your run, but you can survive his hits and then hope that the clock that you see ticking there and freezes the enemies, it will get better later on, that it hits the final boss to death and he gets frozen. And after you survive for 1 minute, a second boss will spawn. After you survive for another minute, a third boss will spawn. And so on and so on and so on, right? It continues forever. And some people achieve 39 minutes, I think. That's a record, which is absolutely insane. And in this run, well, you'll see when I die. But I was quite surprised, because this was my second attempt with this frozen clock thingy and the Laurel in combination to freeze them. So I was really proud that, like, this was my second attempt, right? Using this. But yeah, this was pretty much the key. Just having the frozen clock lancet, sorry, and the invulnerability from the Laurel, they did the trick. They allowed me to survive forever, because there's a very neat mechanic in the game how you can use this to not get hit by enemies. It's literally impossible for them to hit you unless you panic or you mess up. And you'll see that later on, so I'm not spoiling it right now. But yeah, pretty much right now it's just farming Fiesta. I'm trying to walk up and down to gather all the experience from the enemies that leave the screen. They are not supposed to target you, which they don't, as you see. They just walk past us. So I don't want to waste that. But at the same time I was debating, is this really worth it for a bit of experience? And then we lose out on candle respawns, right? Like you see down there, 0 candles are there right now because we didn't leave the screen. And the moment we leave and come back, you'll see like 3 or 4 candles. Go a bit further. Go a bit further. Go a bit further. Yeah, there are too many enemies respawning. You really want experience because each level, once you're fully upgraded, is worth 75 gold. But let's talk a bit about items, and let's especially talk about weapons. So, as I said, one major change compared to the last run that helped a lot was that I limited myself to only 6 items instead of 7, which meant we don't have to walk to the empty tome on the left side to collect it, which saves us a lot of time and gives us a lot of gold. The second thing is, and this is weird by the way, this candle doesn't get destroyed at the top right there, and there will be another one right below us right now that won't get destroyed. But I checked, I collected all the items to see if they actually respawn or if it's just like, you know, visually glitched out or an actual glitch that they are invulnerable. And there were still items below them, which means at one point they did respawn, it's just a visual glitch. But let's talk about weapons. Evandelier, the upgrade for the ebony wings, right? It's not necessary, and I don't think it's a good choice, simply for the reason that you waste 16 times 75 gold on upgrading it. That's 1,200 gold. That is a lot. For a gold record run, that is a ton of gold. So, yeah, I would definitely say avoid it. Don't do it, unless you don't have enough damage, but if you see what I do, then it should be enough, because I managed to do it. Now one thing, I'm checking here, I have 250% luck, right? And I thought this was the maximum, so I'm opening all the chests, and that's a major mistake I shouldn't have done. Like, if I could redo this right now in this very moment, which I could, but I'm recording the audio right now for the video that I upload, what I would do is, I would leave the chests all on the ground. Once I have the axe level 8 and have the cross level 8, I would upgrade the axe. I mean, you don't even need to upgrade the cross, right? Because the cross itself is actually better than the Heaven Sword to deal with masses of enemies. And the Heaven Sword will be our only tool to deal with bosses. It's a perfect combination because the Heaven Sword can critically strike, which is affected by how much luck you have. And hey, we have record values on luck here, right? So it's one of the best weapons we could use here. But yeah, either way, if I could do this again, what I would do is just max out the axe, keep the cross on level 7 that it doesn't upgrade the axe, and then just continue my day until eventually the bosses appear that I can't deal with, and I have to use the Heaven Sword for. Then I do another upgrade, and then I wait until 27, 28, 29 minutes, where I will then open all the other chests, right? You don't want to do it too late. If you can't walk through the enemies, you will waste your chests. Unless, of course, you freeze the death, right? But you could always fail, technically. But yeah, either way, that's one change that I would do, and that I will do in future runs. Like I said, I'm done once I hit 16,000 gold, until I saw that someone already had that. I think actually I just wanted to reach 15k, but, well, now it's 16k. Or was 16k when I saw that, and now we have 18k, and there's way more possible. Like, even reviewing this run right now, I see so many things that I did wrong, where I walked outside of the enemy's appearance, where they despawned, or where I used items not at the right moment, like at the perfect moment. There's a clover to my left that I didn't notice so far. Like, do you see that below the food? On the carpet, there's a clover. I should have picked that up a while ago, and I'm just walking away. Please turn around and pick up the clover. That's 10% luck, go back. Oh my god. Well, yeah, you see, not optimal. There's a lot that can be optimized. But you have to look out for green stuff. If green stuff is on the ground, below items, you know it's clover. There is no other item in the game that is green that gets dropped from candles or so. In fact, there's no other item in general that is green as clover is. So if you see something green, just look out for the spots where the candles respawn and just walk there. If you think there might be something green, just pick it up. 10% luck is an insane difference. Like I mentioned this, I think the difference between 200% luck and 250% luck is absolutely crazy. It's way more than what the numbers say. Like, I don't know how this works in the background, but it feels like it's way, way more. Come on, pick it up now. Yes, I saw it. Good. But there you see, I opened up a couple of candles with 10% less luck. Again, we are not expecting like insane benefits out of 10% luck, but it is a difference. And there we go, we got another triple chest. At this point, you're kind of expecting rather triple chests on average, which means not every chest is a triple chest, but let's say if you get a 1 times chest, and you expect the next one to be a 5 times chest, right? 5 upgrade chest. Simply because our luck is so insanely high, and you'll see at the end we have quite a lot of triple chests. Sadly, we got kind of scuffed on the red chest, on the penta chest, which are the best ones. On average, they drop around 700, 750 gold. And then they also give 5 times 75 gold for the gold bags that you get, so 375. Which means a single penta chest gives you around 1100 gold. It's absolutely bonkers. And here you can see, I noticed I have 260% luck, and I was like, hold on a second. How is that possible? Because I thought the maximum was 250%. For no reason, right? I just thought it was the case because it made sense with 5 clovers, until I did the math now and realized, hey, 5 clovers end up at 240%, so my assumption was wrong from the beginning. And it seems like it's endless. And this is the moment where I realized I shouldn't have opened the chests. I should have just left them on the ground. Yeah. And it was already kind of too late, so instead I just, continued and decided, well, I will do a new run eventually where I will keep the chests on the ground as long as possible. And in the future I also have to pay more attention to how much luck I have already. Like, just in general, like, that's one thing that I don't really do. Like, I look for upgrades, obviously, crown and clover, as I previously said. But let's say you get 2 crowns and you were hoping for 3 economical upgrades, right? So let's say 2 crowns and a clover until level 11. And I ignore what my current luck level is. So if I would check that out and realize, hey, I got insanely lucky and picked up 3 clovers within like 2 minutes, that's absolutely insane. Keep this run. Keep this run. This should just be added to economy upgrades, right? And I didn't do that so far, and I'll do that in the future because that's a huge difference. As I said in the past, I already had 6 upgrades, 6 clovers at 10 minutes in the game. I thought it was only 5, as I said, but wrong math, and yeah, sucks to be me. And, 6 at 10 minutes. 6 at 10 minutes. Right now, I think we have 4 at 21 minutes. That would have been an insane run with this strategy. But yeah, the rest is just, I'm gonna let you watch it, but there is nothing all too special, I think, that happens up until 25 minutes. So we have 4 minutes to go, so let's make it a bit comfortable. Let's check out some values. We have 6,000 gold, but we shouldn't forget that below us right now, there might be a lot more gold. I do pick up some of the things that are there from time to time, so it's not like 6 candles respawn there that have all of their past items there, but yeah. And there we just saw the second candle down there that is glitched out visually. Gotta take another sip. But especially that spot there above the little table, that one will have a lot of gold. I think that one was untouched for a majority of the 20 minutes, which means all the drops from the last 20 minutes are accumulated in a single spot from 3 candles. It's quite insane. Like, you'll see these huge bursts of gold that I have once I collect these accumulated spots. The other ones are more like gambles. Sometimes they give 30 gold because it's just small bags. Sometimes they give 500 gold because, or 600 gold because it's 2 bigger bags. And you got quite lucky, but yeah. This is pretty much now a point where I'm uncertain how to optimize everything. Like, what exactly I should be doing. Should I be focusing on killing certain enemies? Should I just be, you know, keeping on collecting candles? I think the goal is collecting candles, because it's still a gold run, right? But again, experience translates to gold also. So let's say... Oh, nice. The first penta chest, I think, amazing. But yes, experience translates to gold. So let's say you take a walk to get the empty tome, but you waste 5 gold. Empty tome is a bad example. Let's say you take a long walk and you waste experience worth 5 levels and you get 300 gold out of it. But the 5 levels would have translated to 5 times 75 is 375 gold. Then you just lost 75 gold for that. And even worse if you walked over there just for 100 gold, right? So it doesn't make a lot of sense. And this is the same reason why I don't walk over to get the stone mask. Like, sure, it's a free level, so 75 gold, right? But it has to make up for the levels that I lost on the way there. And it also has to make up for the gold that I lost by not opening the candles here. Which it honestly can't. It's impossible. Sure, you get a like 10% bonus a bit earlier, right? Compared to when you would have gotten the item naturally. Like, you will always be ahead 1 in the upgrade section. But once you max it out, you're no longer ahead. And now, you are pretty much continuously losing the experience that you would have had. But yeah, as you can see, I'm also collecting the experience orbs here. We have another triple chest. I'm not even sure what... Oh yeah, I'm picking up the experience orbs because when I see that it's blinking, then I think there's something special. But sometimes the experience orb can be on top of something else. I'm talking about the attract orb that collects everything, every experience on the map. And you don't see what's below it. So there might be an Ankh, you know, the cross that kills everything. There might be a freezer, but you don't see it because the ball is so big. So I just collected to get rid of it. I collect the experience. I still have more than enough on this map here. Like, you need only 1 or 2 for the end game to collect everything. Optimally speaking, it's 2. Maybe even 3. But all the others I don't care about. But here we have a cross. We have a burning. I should pick that up here. Yeah, good. Because these enemies are not easy to walk through. So if you pick this up, it's pretty much like a get out of jail card. That just allows you to rush through the enemies, get all of the experience, which translates to gold, and it allows you to get to the candles faster. Like, look how much it slowed down by not having the item anymore. Now the witches spawn. The witches, honestly, you don't have to do anything, just stand there. I don't think walking is that effective, just be close to a cross. The way I do it, I start collecting usually around 2 crosses when the boss at 25 spawns. Not because I think it's necessary, but because it's a very consistent way of doing it. By getting rid of the witches for a couple of seconds, you free yourself up to walk around. So whenever I can't walk around, I'll just get rid of them. And then I will focus on the boss only, right? Because if the witches are dead, your swords, your weapons will only go for the boss. And that makes it super easy to deal with him. Otherwise, he will actually survive a very, very long time because you don't have a really powerful weapon. Like, the only damaging weapon that you really have is the sword. The scythe is not bad, but it's not meant to target one single enemy. It's meant to push back masses of enemies and penetrate through them and stuff like this, right? So we are 3 seconds off. I'll take another sip right now. There are the bets that let you know that he's coming. And I almost missed that he was there, because I was used to playing on the public beta of the game. And there they changed the boss, his appearance, to have a red outline that you easily identify him. So I was looking for this red line, and depending on where he spawns, it can take quite some time until he gets to you. So I thought he just wasn't there yet. But yeah, it's not a big problem. What you see here is a very interesting strategy that you'll see for the rest of the run, where if I have to, I just walk exactly on the path where the clock lancet is freezing the enemies. And you can make this in a perfect circle. Like right now it's not necessary yet, but you'll see here where I get overwhelmed by the enemies. I'll start doing this more and more, but especially at minute 28 and stuff like this, I'll do it. I'm instant killing the enemies because I still have a lot of crosses left, and it's a ton of experience that I don't want to lose by evading the boss, right? If I walk to the left to get, like, not hit by the boss, all the enemies on the right side despawn. So I rather want to insta-kill them, but I also don't want to waste all the insta-kill crosses that I have on the map. But yeah, I noticed Medusa already spawned, I'm like, oh boy, we are slow. This is like one thing I didn't consider, luckily we killed him here. But this is one thing I didn't consider by limiting myself to these weapons. My DPS against a single target is abysmal. It's really bad. And I'm not sure, like, I had a feeling that, especially with the Medusa, if you don't kill her fast enough, then one might despawn or no new Medusa will come. Like, we'll see a second Medusa, but I think I counted in the past like 3 or 4 or 5 Medusas that I killed in total just because I killed them very, very fast. But that's just a feeling. So yeah, the Medusa boss enemies, mini-bosses, not mini-bosses, the Medusa creeps that we have in front of us are quite annoying to deal with because they are large. They have way bigger sprite than normal enemies and they take up a lot of room, which makes it really hard to get through them. But also these little blobbies, the Medusa heads that spawn now, they are weak. They die very fast, but they push the Medusas into you, which causes you to take damage. So this is the time where I start using the strategy of walking into the freezing path that my clock lancet creates. And enemies that are frozen can't damage you, but you have to be really careful to not stand inside of a crowd of enemies the moment they unfreeze, because all of them will hit you at once. It's not a lot of fun. Like, we nearly insta-die here later on where this happens. And this is a moment here where I messed up. I'm a bit debating whether I should just take the safe path. Like, this is what's happening here. I'm debating whether I should take the safe path of enemies getting frozen, or still attempt to push my way to the right side, right? To get here for the candles to reset, to get the candles that are there, and take my usual route to get higher gold amounts, right? Because it's still a gold run, but we don't want to die. So this is a bit where I'm a bit lost right now here, where I don't know what the hell I'm supposed to do. Like, should I just stay here? Should I just move in the frozen circle, but then I don't get respawns? But if I want to get respawns, I have to move, but then I might die, and I'm like, oh boy, I don't know what to do. And at the same time, you focus at the spots where the candles respawn, so you're not looking at yourself, and then you realize, yep, I'm getting hit all the time. Good job, me. And this is where I panicked. This is where I really panicked. Where I just hope that the enemies below me will be permanently frozen, because the clock lancet should hit them, but it didn't. And I just started getting hit, and now I'm panicking, and I'm like, oh my god, I'm about to die. And I hope there was a cross here, and yes, there was, as well as with an attractor orb. But you might notice I have a problem now. I only have 1 or 2 crosses left. Above the table there. And that's it. After that, I might die. So, yes. Minute 29 forward will be very interesting. And you'll see some very close calls. Okay, I don't know what I had here. Okay, I had another freeze. Like, I'm slowly taking these, and I don't mind taking these, because at this point, I don't need them anymore as much. Like, I rather want to be safe than sorry, right? After I just nearly died, I realized, hey, hold on. Great if you manage to max out your gold that you could get, but if you die again before the game finishes, that's what happened in the 13.6k run. I died at the end, 24 seconds before the game ended, which meant I couldn't get all of the experience that was on the ground. I didn't get the 1.5k bonus gold you get at the very end, and it was very sad. But yeah, I think this was another cross, yes, with an attractor orb, though the cross was collected after the orb, so it didn't collect all the additional experience. And now I'm kind of a bit stuck here. We have another freezer here, which I was very happy about to receive that, and at the bottom we have another cross to kill them. But now, after taking it, like, I'll take it right now, we have 20 seconds that we need to survive without enemies doing... There was no cross. Oh, I thought there was one. And I'm 90% sure in the game as well. I thought there was one, and now I panic. I'm like, give me freeze, give me cross, give me anything to kill all of the enemies. And I was really sad because there's so much experience on the screen right now, and somewhere out of like the heavens, I got a cross that killed everyone twice right before they despawned, which will give us quite a lot of experience. But now I'm like, how do I collect this experience? There's the boss. You can see him frozen right now because we got a lucky early hit on him. Doesn't matter too much on one boss. Still lucky. And now I'm just collecting, the candles, right? This is where I continue. If you want to hit him, you have to walk the opposite of where your clock lancet is shooting right now. I noticed. Like, hey, this is my second run using the strategy, okay? I'm not good at it. I'll make a lot of mistakes where you think, oh my god, you could have continued and you failed. But it's my second run attempting this with boss freezing. Like, I didn't train it or anything. But yeah, as you can see, he gets frozen more and more and more, and now we will continue for some more minutes. And pretty much any second he unfreezes, there is a chance that he will kill us if the clock lancet will not hit him, because you see when he attacks us, he chitters around. Like, he goes left and right and left and right. And if he goes to the right side, when I'm shooting where I thought I would hit him, then he evaded that hit, and that's also how I will die later on. Just a small spoiler. I mean, it's not like there's a lot of spoilers, right, that I can say, because you saw the title, you see where we are right now in the game, and that's how you can die. But right now we have 15.2k gold, so if we would die, we would end up at 16.7k, which is not bad. It's just by far not as lucky as I have been previously. You'll see we didn't have a lot of penta chests, given how much luck we had. Like, at the end screen, after I'm dead, it will show the gold chest, it will show the triple chest, it will show the little gold bags that we picked up for a reference. But yeah, it was quite unlucky gold-wise, but now we attempt to extend the run as long as possible to destroy the candles and get more gold bags out of them. Honestly, it's not helping that the two candles are visually bugged. I always think they are there, and I try to aim for them and waste time. And also waste my focus, right? Like, every single time I see them, I think like, oh yeah, let's go down there, let's break them. Maybe projectiles just miss them. I can't follow every single projectile because I have to keep an eye on the death. So I just walk there, which wastes time. But yeah, right now I think we have 3 deaths on the screen. As I said, on 30 minutes the first one spawns, then 31 minutes the next one, 32 minutes the next one, 33 minutes the next one. It will just keep on going forever. And it's impossible, by the way, to reapply the freezing effect on them. Like, I tried this here, for example. I just hit them with the freezing, but they don't care. If they are frozen, you can't reapply it. You have to wait until they are unfrozen. And then, when they attack you, you can reapply it. Really sad, because that would have been a very easy way to do it. Alright, so now I'm panicking, right? Like, I see I have... I would beat the record, but I wanted to beat it with a very significant value, like the 18.9k, and we would not end up on 18.9k. So I'm like, oh my god, what do I do? Like, I knew they were about to be unfrozen, so I went to the right side, hopes that they would go to my left side, where I was shooting out the little lasers. But yeah, here are 2 gold bags, so, no, it was 1, okay. We had 15.9k, we would end up on 17.4k. Oh yeah, then I think I got 2 bags there. 17.4k, that's a lot higher. Yeah, those were 2 bags. And now we will collect 2 more bags, and then the run is over. Right now, I needed a break. So, yeah, let's talk a bit about the run and everything. I just needed a break, and, again, it was like 3 minutes of perma-pressure of a situation that I haven't been in previously. In the 18.9k run, I only got to 31 minutes. Like, the moment the second death spawned, I died. Pretty much because I failed. And I just needed this moment to breathe and relax before I continue. But as you see with the video length, it doesn't continue for long. But yeah, it was amazing run, absolutely amazing. We'll take a look at the end screen. And we will talk about that a bit. And then I'll also show the other run, and you can compare it side by side. Or, well, one after the other. But it's honestly, I'm super duper happy. I didn't expect to beat the record by that much, or rather to ever reach such a high value. But I can't wait to do other challenges. The next challenge that I want to do is the Poe challenge, where you just start with garlic and you are not allowed to move ever. And you have to go for the right weapon choices and stuff like this. And I didn't spoil myself on what people did that completed it. But I think we have a rather good understanding now, especially with beating this run here. Am I the only one who noticed that we have Ebony Wings level 5? Hold on a second. Why do we have Ebony Wings level 5? Yeah, that was a weird run, I gotta say. I mean, the difference is only 225 gold, right? 3 times 75, but that's a bit weird. That is... Okay, it's not the first time that happened to me. It happened to me with the Stone Mask, when you pick it up the very first time. But that's a bit weird. Interesting. Well, regardless, as you can see, we are going down to a blue shell. The blue shell around us... No, I think it entirely disappeared, yeah. And this is our death. I just took way too long to freeze them, and it's game over, and that's it. So... let's just take a moment to look at this end screen. I got 1 gold chest, 1 penta chest. Do you know how bad this is? Like, in a normal run, where I focus on luck, I would usually, on average, get 2 or 3 of them. If we got 3 of them, we would have gotten around... how much gold does a normal chest usually give? I think 275, 250 rather, something in this ballpark. And a gold chest gives you 1,100 on average. So we would have gotten 850 gold per gold chest more. So times 2 is 1,700 gold more. We would have nearly cracked 20,000 just by that. We collected 16 of the gold bags. That is honestly not even that much. It's not as much as I expected. But hey, still good, right? It says we collected 3 clovers, but that's not true. We got more of them. And yeah, nothing else special there that we can talk about. So now I want to talk about the other run that I had. And for that, I have to open up the file and also find it, which will be the harder part to find it. Oh, there it is. Okay, so you probably saw it already because I entered it, like I put it in the video. As you can see, it has 18,832 gold. I only got to 31 minutes and 23 seconds. But in that run, we had another gold chest. I think we had 1 more silver chest, like a triple chest. No, the same amount. And... but we only got 14 of the other gold bags. What is different, by the way? We got less coins. Oh, we got way more of the green gold thingies there. Way, way more. But less of the other ones. Okay, interesting. Yeah, I mean, gold chests make a huge difference in general. Like, it's a lot. I can't really determine what happened in the other run, why it's... Well, no, it makes sense. Yeah, it's 1 gold chest, and I guess the green one gives... I don't know. I honestly don't get it. Well, either way, it was a ton of fun. I hope you enjoyed it. If you want to see more videos, please check out the comment section. I will put in videos there. But if you want to see more Vampire Survivors related videos, then feel free to subscribe. I will do a lot of fun challenges especially, and I will keep on doing gold runs because, well, I use the strategy for the first time, so I want to optimize it. And in the future, I will also do entirely different challenges like max level and stuff like this. So yeah, that was it. I hope you enjoyed it. See you the next time, and I'm out.